Hey, this is Rik Roberts. I played the Barney Fife impersonator Warren in the movie Mayberry Man.
And this is Allan Newsome. I play Floyd the barber.
Oh, you did a real good job of that too, Floyd. Real good.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to watch the Mayberry Man movie. So let's get this thing started. So this courthouse location is a replica that's located in Mount Airy, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's right next to Wally's gas station where they do the squad car tours.
The music that's playing is the Manhunt, which is it's kind of Barney's theme.
Oh yeah, anytime something was going down, they play that in the background.
Yeah, it's originally from the Andy Griffith Show with Earl Hagen.
And his wife gave us the rights to use all that music, didn't she?
She did. Yeah, we really appreciate that. And it was re-recorded for the film by the composer, Brett Perry. Hey, there's Eric Lowry, our judge in the movie. Now, he's a real tribute artist that works with us all the time as the mayor. Oh, and in the background, you can see the state of Georgia. The state flag was brought in to dress up the courtroom, and so is that seal that's behind them that was there. This courtroom is actually located there in Danville, Indiana, is where this was actually filmed. And this was the very first scene that was filmed for the movie. I got to go in there and watch when they were filming this because it was the very first day of filming, and I've never been in a movie, and I didn't know what to expect, so they let me go in there, and I was able to sit in the back of the courtroom and kind of be able to see what was going on. And wow, Eric set the bar high.
Yeah, this is Eric's first acting job ever, and he was the first guy you see on the screen in the movie, and I thought he knocked it out of the park. And there was some good character acting in this scene too. We'll see. There he is, right there. James Pierce.
James Pierce.
He's also the first character you see, and he's in the opening scene of the Mayberry Man series, and just a fun guy and had a cool attitude. I got to bump into him a couple times while we were shooting.
Yeah, he did a great job. So there's been a lot of comparison to Mayberry Man to other movies.
Yeah, like Oscar winners.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they've talked about Doc Hollywood being like the Mayberry Man.
Well, getting pulled over and having to do a sentence in a different way, yeah.
And we've even had people say Cars, the Pixar movie, was similar. But it's really, the concept of it is from the Andy Griffith Show episode where Danny Thomas, it was the
pilot episode on the Danny Thomas Show.
Yeah, it was the pilot episode where Danny Thomas was going through the town of Mayberry and got pulled over for running a stop sign where there wasn't a road. It was just a stop sign. So that's really where the concept kind of came from. Walter Stone is supposed to be Chris Stone's dad in here in the movie. And Walter Stone was not a real character on the Andy Griffith Show.
No, it was made up, but it's kind of loosely based on the Howell brothers' father.
That's right, yeah. Because the writer and director, Stark Howell, and producer, Courthouse, their dad played Dud, Charlene's husband, in the Andy Griffith Show in season 3.
Yeah, the TV show, I get it. The fine, please.
It was really a lot of fun being able to sit in there and watch all of this. And Eric is so believable as the judge. He got us off to such a great start. Brett Varvel, who is Chris Stone, he's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and we just got to meet him a week or two before shooting, and he dialed it in. As amateur actors as we were, it was kind of fun to watch him already have his backstory in his mind, and he knew where we were throughout the entire process, and we're just trying to, and there's my favorite line, fried chicken. But he was great to have, because I think he kind of steered the ship for the rest of us, didn't he?
Oh, definitely. So Stark came to Mayberry Days Festival and saw what it was all about and everything, and that's where he got the idea for the whole movie.
Yeah, and I understand he was pretty overwhelmed by the experience, like you'll see our main character get overwhelmed here in a second when he starts to encounter all the crazy people who love to go to these festivals like us.
Definitely. Again. So this was actually filmed in Judge Zielinski's courtroom there in the Hendricks County Courthouse. And if you freeze frame that scene where he's actually doing the gavel, you can see his name on there. I didn't realize that.
I'd like to have a gavel with my name on it.
Me too.
I'd like to have a mortgage without. Now this is a cool opening scene here in Los Angeles. This was shot during the pandemic, so you see there's not a lot of traffic in LA, and you can see the sky.
Well, in the Ferrari, there's actually 2 Ferraris. This is the one in L.A. that you're seeing right now. And there's another one in a few minutes that's actually in Indiana. So they had to get 2 Ferraris that looked the same so they could film these 2 scenes, because I think it's amazing, really. They edited this movie to be you were in Indiana, North Carolina, and California, and you really can't tell that happened. Of course, obviously this part is in California because they're there. So that was Stark's kids there, right?
3 of the 4 are Hal kids.
Yeah, so it was.
They get to be in there.
They saw Chris Stone.
Yeah, and by the way, the cars that were in this movie, I mean, they had different Wranglers in different parts of the country, but I just thought it was amazing how they were able to get people to donate and stand around and wait all day for their cars. And now here's the car that shows up in Indiana.
Yeah, this is Indiana. So the Hollywood sign obviously was in California. Now we're in Indiana, different car.
Yep, but it matches perfectly.
Yeah.
You're my agent, Stanley, not my therapist.
And this is where he gets to meet Shane for the first time.
Yeah, this is the governor's mansion in Indiana, and that was also dressed up with some palm trees and stuff from a local landscaping company. They donated a lot of time and effort to put that in to make it look like it was California, which was very believable.
Oh, yeah. You really can't tell that. You really can't tell Indiana versus the Carolinas or California.
No, not cinemagraphically, but,
Right.
the attitude of the people completely different.
Yeah. It was just so neat. So they also mentioned here about Shane says something about this being
Clark Gable's old
Clark
house.
Gable's house. Yeah.
Which quickly, when he went in that door, he's actually in a different mansion that was located in Indiana. So not only did he leave California and go to Indiana, but he's in a different mansion.
Yeah,
as soon as
this
he
is
comes
the
to that
Perry
door.
Mansion.
Yeah, which used to be overrun by raccoons as recent as 2012, and they renovated it, and just amazing job. It was kind of fun being in those big places, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's in Indiana, in the Indianapolis area. The Perry Mansion it's built in 1905 by a business magnate, David Perry. Wow. Raccoons. I think I've seen those raccoons.
Oh yeah, Rocky.
Oh, he's talking about the bird. This is all ad lib by Shane, by the way.
Terrified of birds ever since, and well, it gave me a rash in my
I
arm.
should say Jacob. It's Jacob. I call him Shane. This whole thing about the bird, he just ad libbed all of that. And Brett Varvel, Chris Stone, actually said this. He thought it was some of his best acting, not laughing when
Right.
Shane was doing that.
Well, that happened throughout the film where Jacob was kind of getting them going a little bit. And this is another ad lib here coming up too. Dixie the praying dog is she appears a couple times and she's in the series as well. But right here she's supposed to just go, and she comes right back. Maybe she has a taste for beer. I don't know. She was like, I'm coming back here and going to hang out. And then again, he just has to kind of go with what's going on. So always fun to have an animal in the end.
Yeah, now Dixie was on a show called The Pack on Amazon Prime, along with the trainer, owner, Brian Calvert.
Brian Calvert, yeah.
Yeah, they were on a TV series, so you could watch them on Amazon Prime. They did all kinds of adventures while they're out there.
Gotta chill.
So here we're on our surfing trip
Just tank at the box office.
with Dennis.
I'm just saying though.
Yeah, Dennis I never got to meet Dennis. Did you?
I met him at the premiere in California.
Oh, maybe I did then. Yes, I did, just for a second.
That was the only time I met
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Now this location, as far as I know, is the only house that we had to actually rent. The mansions were donated, the time, other spots, the hotel we did some scenes at, but obviously beachfront property a little trickier.
Right.
So
if you're watching on a big screen, there's a guy outside the window in the
In
water.
that water.
If you look really close, you'll see him. That's Greg Shell, and he was out there for hours, paddleboarding. I think
yeah,
so he's doing.
yeah, trying to get another credit in acting, and he was not visible. That could have been me actually, but you'll see him out there. His father, Ronnie Shell, was Duke Slater on the Gomer Pyle show.
Yeah, and there he is. If you look real close, he's hidden behind an antenna or something, but there he is,
Yeah, but-
right there. You can kind of see him out there in the water. If it's on a big screen, you probably saw it.
It was
Otherwise,
his daughter.
pretty small. All right, so Chris is coming home from being out on the beach, and playing. So he's coming home to meet his brother, Larry. He's played by Rob Diaz.
Hey, Larry.
And they're looking at all their father's memorabilia.
Yeah, and those are actual scripts.
Yeah, they are. They're hoax scripts and photos and things like that. And Hoke, who their dad, Court and Stark's dad.
Have you ever heard of Mayberry?
So they have all those scripts and stuff that are from the Andy Griffith Show and other movies that he was in and TV series. So that's what he's got there.
And then I love these big movie posters coming up on the mantle. And I like the angle to make it look like he is a big star. You know, he's got this big attitude and the ego, and there he is. My favorite is on the right, actually, Vegan Gringo. You know, some guy who he's out there with a lettuce burrito whopping you around a little bit.
Yeah, fans are wondering about that. So the release date on the Chris Stone Death Figure 8 movie poster, if you see it up there on the mantle, it is actually Stark's birthday. Is the release date. And the co-star is Kate Bosclow, is Stark's daughter.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun to actually have a movie called Death Figure 8 where Allan Newsome and Floyd meet up with Rik and
Oh,
Barney.
yeah, a figure 8.
Oh, yeah, I got old Death Figure 7 plus 1.
So the names of the movies, according to what Stark told me, they have a list. He and his family get together, and they have a list that they keep of what would be great band names,
Right.
like rock bands or something. And they used some of those rock band names for the names of the movies that Chris Stone had been in.
I like that a lot. We do similar things at my house, just making up crazy stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
You know what he said to me when I got my first big role in Shingletown?
What?
Nothing.
I like the fact the scene builds a lot of tension. You know, we're not liking Chris Stone very much here at the beginning. He's got a little attitude, and again, kudos to Brett for kind of knowing where he's at in the script, because we shot everything out of sequence, and he has to be a jerk before he can turn into somebody nice, and this scene really dialed it up for me.
Well, this is emotional too. I mean, yeah, when you watch it in the theater or you're watching with friends when he's talking about he was your dad, it really.
And it was me
you really see the hurt
and
maybe why he's, yeah, just look at it. Look at his eyes. You can see him hurting. He did a great job.
I think those are what we call vegan gringo eyes.
It was very emotional there. You could
You
tell.
gotta forgive him for that, bro.
Yeah, I had to be in another room. Not because of emotions, because that's where the snacks were. But yeah, Rob did a great job. We only got to really hang out with him that day. At least I only had one day with him, but did an excellent job.
I don't need anything.
Yeah, I think he did too. He was very nice. It was good to get to meet him. You don't realize when you're filming these things, a lot of times we don't see the other actors that are in the movie. We don't really get to meet. We weren't here, or we weren't present when they were filming this.
No, we came in later that day, I think.
Well, I think this was after we left, I think, maybe one day, because this is in the evening. But yeah, we didn't get to be there for this. But again, that's a photo there. That's probably a photo of Hoke Howell that he had.
And again, I like the positioning of this. It's him going through something versus him having gone through things. Now, this is fun, right?
Oh, this is fun. Yeah, they're flying into Mayberry on a private jet.
Thank you, Mr.
And they get picked up at the festival by the driver, Doug. It's played by Jay Bidwell.
And here's my favorite Shane ad-lib where he has a little turbulence and has to let it go there in the bush. And keep an eye on that hand because it might come into play here in a minute.
He had so many ad-libs through this thing.
Well,
Jacob did.
yeah.
This scene where he rubs his face off her and then shakes his hand. And when Chris looks at this car and just stops and stares at it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So the Learn to Fly sign, that's actually a sign at the airport, by the way. There's a real sign there. It's the Hendricks County Airport in Danville, Indiana.
No?
And Doug here had never driven a stick before, I guess. So he had to learn how to drive it before they could actually get this scene rolling.
Yeah.
And I just love how jammed up they are in the back.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah, and they explain it though because his front seat's a little busted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've flown into Mayberry. Now, Mayberry's a fictitious town in North Carolina.
Right, yeah. People always call Mount Airy Mayberry, but the Mayberry was conceived for the show, but Mount Airy is kind of town everybody refers back
Yeah,
to.
the Andy Griffith Show is what Mayberry is made for. But in the movie, this is supposed to be the real Mayberry. These people are really in Mayberry, North Carolina. It's where we are supposed to be. Now, this is another ad lib by Shane where he sneezes. Now
And again, hold on. This was during COVID. I just want to point out that the comfort level, and we were being tested on the way in and signing off on things.
right.
But that was a brave acting move.
That's right. So that scene of them driving down the road was actually in North Carolina, and now we're back in Indiana at the hotel. This is a completely different scene. The banjo music you heard playing, that was from the
Fabulous
Ohio-based-
band,
yeah,
Baraka Valley.
Yeah, they are awesome.
Yeah, we've become good friends with those folks, and man, they can play everything.
Oh, I should say, hey, I got picked up at the airport in California in Doug's car. Doug's
Yes.
car picked me up at the airport.
I know. I know how that happened. Yeah.
I got to ride in Doug's car.
And by the way, shout out to the actor that played Doug. He was my son's favorite. Now, tell me about the art on the wall.
Okay,
here.
so the art on the wall, that's actually art that was done by the film's production manager, Sarah Howe, when she was in college. They actually put that in there. I love Shane jumping up the bed.
Yeah. Yeah, she might want to approach the hotels and see if they might want to
Yeah,
use
maybe
it.
they'll buy
It
them.
looks great. That
Look
would look
out.
great in any room.
Happy Shane was, and now how sad he is, poor guy.
That bed doesn't seem as bouncy.
So Shane and Chris are going to arrive here for the first day of the festival for the Mayberry Fest, and they start to meet the tribute artist.
Yeah, and they're overwhelmed pretty quickly. At least our main character is. He can't wait to get out of town and get this ticket taken care of, but he's in no man's land right here.
Yeah, this was all filmed in downtown Danville, Indiana, right around the courthouse, the same place where the courtroom scene was filmed.
Yeah, look at this one of my favorite actors right here, Allan Newsome. Who plays,
he's
that's you.
He's a good one.
He's
Yeah,
real good.
yeah,
He
yeah.
fits right into it, doesn't he? He's always looking to cut somebody's hair.
He never cuts any though. I don't know.
Good morning, everyone. Hey,
Yeah, Chris is just about over it, and it's just getting started.
blocking the driveway, and there's someone that needs to get through.
So yeah, this is still, like I said, it's in downtown Danville. The Mayberry Cafe is right across the street from here. Well, just across the street. So these are the Fun Girls. So the Fun Girls show up, and if you look, one of the Fun Girls also plays Juanita in just a minute.
Right, she's a very talented actress, pulls double shifts here, and she also can sing like nobody's business.
Oh, yeah.
She's a great actress. Christy McClendon is who we're talking about, and it's Michelle Bryson along with them. They're doing the Fun Girls. If you go to a Mayberry Festival, you might see Dixie Griffith being one of the Fun Girls, along with Michelle.
Yeah. And here's Gomer and Goober
Yeah,
meeting Kristen and freaking him out.
Yeah.
So here we go. And then you're about to have Phil Lee come running across his Ernest T. Bass.
I'm not gonna stay here a whole week.
So,
yeah, that was Joe Alvarado as Goober and Chris Bowman as our Gomer there. But there goes
Phil Lee
goes
as
Phil
Ernest
Lee.
T.
I'm not gonna stay here another hour.
So Juanita, you see her here. Remember, she was just the Fun Girl. Now she was having to change clothes. Now obviously, as the scene was going through, she had some time, but they were changing her clothes in a little tent right there on set.
Right, and this might be the first time any Mayberry fan has seen Juanita.
Juanita. Well, this is not Juanita. This is Juanita Pike.
Pike.
So this is the
That's true.
mayor's daughter.
That's true.
Yeah, she sang at the when they were going to cut down the tree.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she sang. So Christy, by the way, was trying her best to make Brett laugh here. So her singing. She's got a great singing voice, and it's terrible here. And Shane video and everything was great. So this is the mayor. He was the judge.
Yes.
So everybody realizes that's Rik Lowry.
And then here's the big kickoff of the big grand
Yeah, the opening
opening ceremonies here. And this was a fun scene to shoot. And there's Chris again hamming it up. And this really takes place at all these Mayberry festivals. There's a kickoff, and you're usually now kind of emceeing it, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah, I'm usually the MC at Mayberry Days. It's called the Well, it's like the opening ceremonies for Mayberry Days, basically. So it's called the Mayor's Proclamation. And I basically do this same thing at that.
Chris is so good in this.
Yeah, Chris, we're talking about Chris Bowman as Gomer, because we got Chris Stone right beside him.
Right.
Yeah. There's Barney. I see Barney.
There I am, kind of just chilling out the whole time, trying not to laugh at somebody's voice coming up here, their accent. You'll see in a second. And right next to you see Karen. So here comes Karen Knotts, who's Don Knotts' daughter, and she's got a few things in the movie as well.
And you've done a show with her.
Yeah, we did a theater show called Not So Fast, where we do some original sketches and some improv with the audience. A lot of fun. And she's just a hoot to work with. And she's in the series as well, which she does a number of on us in the series.
Yeah, in the series she's a different character. In the movie she's Karen Knotts.
Right.
He was a comic genius, and on top of all that,
So you can kind of see the tribute artists back there, Ryan. So all these tribute artists you're seeing on here, all these people dressed as characters, they do this at Mayberry events all over the place. So the movie, they were able to get people who already dress up like these characters, well, including me in here. All those clothes are mine.
Your wife has told me many times you've got 5 blue shirts, a couple of white jackets, and a few brushes.
Yeah, I just basically pulled them out of my closet and took them with me.
And again, I want to say you can kind of see a little bit of the spacing that we had during COVID, even though we're outside and the wind's blowing. We're kind of spread out a little bit there to make sure everybody was cool. And I'm just trying to stay awake over here in the left corner. This is the beginning of a pretty long day, but fun.
Well, this opening scene, we must have filmed it 15 times, right? Because there was different angles, because you had to get this angle you're seeing with looking at Chris Stone. You got angles looking from the front, a wide shot.
And the wind was really kicking around too, so I was surprised at how clear the audio was. But you can see from the flags, really kicking around.
Oh, so this, Brett, I'll say Brett here. Brett, in a few minutes here, he is so uncomfortable standing up here before the crowd that it made me uncomfortable. At a Mayberry event, normally if somebody was having that kind of struggle, I would go up and help.
Right. You bail them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So here's our mayor, Luther.
Yeah.
Luther Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, our mayor.
Yeah. And at the end of this, you'll hear me yell, "Attaboy, Luther," which is a reference to a different Don Knotts movie. But listen to the accent here. I love it.
So you know, Luther Wilson is actually Brett Varvel's dad, Gary.
And Gary is a phenomenal political cartoonist as well as just a good all-around guy. But he did some of the artwork for some of our posters and giveaways for the Indiegogo and whatnot. A good dude and a good family altogether.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you all for having me.
At a real event, I would have come up and, like you said, bail him out or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You can see my face. He is doing such a good job acting, is what I'm trying to say, that it actually made me uncomfortable.
Right. Oh, yeah. I felt uncomfortable during this, for sure.
Knowing that's what he was supposed to do, I was still uncomfortable.
Same here. I always just want that timing to be quicker as a comedian. And in this part, he really has to be out of place and angry. And it made all of us a little bit like, what's going on?
Yeah, that whole Mayberry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I love our Aunt Beat. It's right there in the back. Again, Chris gets the most out of every scene.
So pretty.
I told him after we watched the movie the first time that everything he was in, he got an extra laugh that wasn't in the script. He did a great job.
Yeah. And again, he's talking about Walter Stone there. And again, Walter, not a real, he was never actually on the Andy Griffith Show. Nobody by that name. So he's calling his agent Stanley here.
Yeah, what I like is it kind of throws back to the Andy Griffith Show in a lot of ways. There's a lot of characters that you heard on the phone but never saw, like Juanita at the diner and some other folks. And so we do get to see Stanley in the series,
Yeah.
but in the movie he's just on the other side of the country.
Yeah, it's just a phone because that's all you ever hear. I love this. Jacob, Chris, Shane here is giving Chris the
And Doug will pick us up in 30 minutes. And I put
all the different markers.
We got black, silver, and
He
magenta.
just closes the door. So now we're at the autograph session.
And this is actually something you would see at Mayberry festivals and Mayberry
yeah.
days and weekends. And I love the competition that sets up here between the two documentary makers. Right there you've got Greg Shell. He's got a documentary about the Mayberry.
Yeah, he
series.
actually did a documentary called, it was about Mayberry Days. He did one.
And then coming in here in a minute will be Chris Hudson, who has the Mayberry Effect movie.
Chris.
Yeah,
That's
so
just on the other side.
yeah, so in the you'll see here that Chris Hudson, they changed his name for the movie, so it'd be more like it's Craig and Greg, instead. But the actual documentary he's got is real.
Yeah.
That is the cover, other than his name is changed.
And I believe you're in that documentary,
I'm
aren't you?
in that. Yeah, as Floyd, I'm in that movie. Well, as me too.
Yep.
I'd be
They,
honored.
in his documentary.
So there's Chris Hudson
There he is.
coming in, setting his up. And they're both great documentaries, by the way. If you're watching this, I think you would like those two documentaries for sure.
Yeah,
But the
you can
Mayberry
get
Effect.
you can get the Mayberry Effect. It's still around. You can watch it. The Mayberry Days documentary has been out of print. It was on DVD for a long time, but it's hard to find it.
I think I got the audio version on 8-track. If you want to get that from me, I'll get it in my
You
garage.
got the 8-track version.
Yeah.
I got the reel-to-reel.
Well, here's the first time Chris sees Kate, Ashley
yeah.
Elaine here, and it catches her eye. And so that's going to be a major part of the film from here on out. She's also the way for him to get out of the festival.
Hey, I'm Rayfield.
Right.
This is
And
my
that's
wife, Jenny.
Rayfield and Jenny.
Morning.
And
He's your dad.
Rayfield and Reggie, who's fixing to pop up in just a minute. He's the guy who says
I
howdy.
think we'll take this
You'll
one.
see in just
Did
a
you sign
second.
this for us?
They're in the series. They've got a big
Sign it,
role in
Rayfield
the
and
series
Jenny.
that comes out. So if
Thank you so
it'll be fun. This is Jeff Gossett is Rayfield.
Hey, this says
It
Roger.
says Roger.
And Chris is he's over it already. It's the second autograph.
Yeah.
He is done with
Rayfield.
this group.
He doesn't want to be here.
And this was shot at the 4-H grounds,
Yeah.
community center or whatever. That was a good venue for us.
I love this line right here. I do this all the time now. I come, howdy.
He gets right in his face.
Hey, how did it go, sir?
All right, he's gonna get run over by the fun girls here again. Boom. If you hadn't had enough going on yet today, this is like the icing on the cake.
You want to do something for me, kid?
Yeah.
Go find Kate.
Okay, you got it.
Who's Kate?
Oh, wait, who's Kate?
Ask someone. And then bring her back to me.
There you go. And then maybe somebody we know pops into this next frame.
Here it is. Now, this is what. Tell us about this.
Well, in my contract it said don't put me in the movie till the 27th minute with a speaking line, and they made it happen. So that's how good they were.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, this is me kind of establishing that
10 hours
I'm a
hold on.
goofball impersonator like the rest of
Satan's
us,
game plan.
and I'm really trying to. What I was trying to do here was make him laugh as well, like just
Shingletown.
with the most dead look in the world. Like you don't have any of this right.
I'm Chris Stone.
My wife said from the side I look like Tippy the Turtle, and I think she nailed it. I would rather have more straight ahead shots as Barney Fife moving forward. The side's a little bit disconcerting. But I got to ad-lib this little line about moving the bathroom from the third floor down the lobby level. Real classic.
Well, that actually happened in Mount Airy.
That's great.
Which I didn't know till afterwards.
Yeah, the Earl Theater in Mount Airy. I thought you did know it.
No.
They actually moved the bathrooms from the second floor of the theater down to the lobby floor.
Total
I
coincidence.
think it was great.
Mr. Stone?
So here's Kate.
Hi. Your friend said you were looking for me. I'm Kate.
I'm Chris.
Another thing I don't think we've talked about is it was like the cicadas time of year when we were shooting this. And I remember in this particular scene and another one we'll see in a little while, they were just really
My
rampaging.
pleasure.
It was like one of the 7-year cicada runs.
All kinds of noise.
Yeah.
She was going to miss it, so I thought I should come
I
in his
love
honor.
that she says his name.
So
wrong.
sweet.
Yeah, I know. He always told me how much he loved coming to this event.
Look at him moving in for the move already. They just met.
Glad to have you, Nick.
There it was. So Kate calls Chris Nick by mistake. In the original script, Chris's name was actually Noah Stone. But evidently there's a real Noah Stone living in Los Angeles. So for legal reasons, they had to change Noah to Chris. Because that was the original script. That was the mistake of Nick.
Sorry, but
And
what was
she
he
said,
talking
that, so
about?
that's where that came from.
Well, luckily they caught it in the nick of time. That's rich.
Well, if you do remember, I'll be running around here.
Now, Kate's always busy planning
Yeah.
these festivals. Got to go.
It was a pleasure.
These festivals really are. If you've never been to one, the people who organize it, they work very hard.
And
They
it's-
really do. So there's Gomer.
And that finger all the way to the lip was another just kind of run with it thing.
Throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, here's our montage.
Yeah, this was fun. And this is what happens at Mayberry festivals and stuff. You signing pictures and stuff like that throughout the day.
So this is the Mayberry March is the music. It's Earl Hagen music again you heard it throughout the Andy Griffith Show. They're recreating scenes like here with Ernest T. Stop in the Car. That's from Malcolm. It's from the episode with Malcolm Merriweather on it in the color episodes where they were trying to be crossing guards. You had Gomer and Sergeant Carter. That was a reenactment of the scene from the episode where Gomer was joining the Marine Corps. Of course, you got guys playing checkers.
Yeah, one of the guys there, the bald guy, and the second from the left, Dan Disler, he was part of getting a lot of those cars and stuff from people up and down involved.
Here's Burt Miller's stand that he had. That was right off of the Andy Griffith Show. We got folks in the jail cell getting their picture made. Oh, and this whole thing of Foley's Market. All those things you see are exact replicas of things that were actually in Foley's Market on the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah, and Sherry, the set designer, did a great job with a lot of that stuff
Oh,
too.
it was amazing.
Fabulous. Here's Allan. Here's you getting a little plug in for Great Clips.
Yeah, Great Clips Cup, yeah. That's Brett Harris. He does Barney in Mount Airy. He lives there now. He actually retired from his real job and moved to Mount Airy, and now he, just for fun, goes around dressed like Barney.
I kind of like the idea of that myself.
Here's Briscoe.
And he's getting
Bo Pierce,
a jug for Shane. That might come in handy later.
Yeah.
And this scene was shot actually early in the morning instead of late at night, one of the early shots of the day. And the extras that we had on set, again, people volunteering their time and resources to be there. Happy to be there early.
Yeah, even though it was very early. Of course, Chris Stone didn't want to go swimming.
Shane's trying.
Poor
Shane's
Shane.
trying.
So here we are back at the autograph session. This is day 2
Yep.
for the autograph. So Craig and Greg, the competition's heating up because Greg's got a bigger sign now.
Yep, he had to go get that to one-up him a little bit. And a nice-looking poster, by the way. Chris still not really happy to be there, trying to get on the phone with Stanley and get out of there.
Yeah, just trying to get out.
Not going to happen. Done with the session, and then boom.
So right here, Chris turns around. I'm right there. Boom. There I am. Have you ever been down to the courthouse? Yeah. So they have a nice couple here coming up, and one of them, the male, that's Jeff Barry. He was our COVID coordinator during the filming of the movie.
Yeah, former EMT, I guess current EMT, former firefighter. And he was great to have on set.
Yeah, he actually played several roles. In the very opening scene where Chris Stone was driving up in his Ferrari, he was actually a gardener in the background. You see him. And he shows up as another character later, too.
Yeah, he's got a really memorable line in this movie
He does.
that he's
We'll
very
point
proud
him-
of.
We'll point him out.
I think he had T-shirts made up of the line he has coming up here. But it is a pretty cool line.
So we're heading over to the courthouse right after this because I'm telling him how great the courthouse is. And the courthouse, that whole scene is inspired from the episode Crime Free Mayberry. And the dialogue is very similar. So we have the tour guide. It's played by Karen Knight. And she's basically doing lines that were either... Really, Floyd would have been the one trying to do these things because he was giving tours of the courthouse.
And this, again, you can visit this courthouse if you visit Mount Airy and go in and take pictures, and it just feels like it, doesn't it?
It does.
And we've
yeah.
got some cool scenes throughout in here.
You can definitely take pictures in there that look like...
Oh, yes. You flip them over to black and white, and it's a done deal.
And here's Shane. He's got that jug.
Yep. And there's the Baraka Valley in the background there, jamming out.
Oh, and these over here, these are our maximum.
So this is Otis's big scene here where he comes in just a second. And that Otis is Ken Junkin. He's been doing Otis at Mayberry events for a long time.
Like, how long have you known him? 30 years? Like, from the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known him the whole time, yeah. He's a great friend. And we ride to most Mayberry events together.
And stop at least 3 Cracker Barrels. I see the pictures. And this is the Apple guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize until I watched something recently that he was in this scene. He's also in the series.
Yeah, he's dancing around in the series.
Yeah.
Y'all are welcome to come back and have your picture taken in one.
I love the women's reaction to this whole thing when Otis came in and said, "That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen."
Yeah.
What are you in for?
Peaches.
So this next scene is a walk and talk, is what they called it. I didn't know what it was called, but we're walking and trying to do our dialogue at the same time. And it was really fun to do.
It flowed really well. You know, it's a one shot. You're coming across there, and there's so many different moving parts going on at the same time.
Yeah. So this couple comes up, and this happens to Chris Stone throughout the series here, the movie, where people want their picture with Floyd, but not him because they don't know who he is.
Right.
Well, the funny thing happened while we were filming at this location. Brett and I were sitting over there in front of the courthouse, and this lady came up and wanted me to sign her Mayberry Confidential. And I said, well, you want him to sign it too? And she said, and you are?
Yeah.
It was like life imitating art.
But I got to tell you, Al, I've watched the movie several times, and this is one of my favorite scenes of yours as far as your acting. You have a tender moment coming up here where you're talking about his dad and how his dad spoke of his sons. And when I watched the movie, I think the second time with you, it really stood out as just like a really great moment in the movie where it's just 2 guys talking. It didn't seem like 2 guys acting. It was totally believable. But it comes up right here when you get to the truck, and I'll get out of the way so everybody can hear it again. But great scene right here.
What does he talk about?
Acting. He loves acting. He talks about it.
I think this is one of the first times that Chris starts to realize that his dad thought more about him than he realized.
Right.
He's very proud of you. Matter of fact, he always made sure I knew.
Because when I first say, he talks about acting a lot, he was like, oh, yeah. But then when I start talking about him, always making sure I knew when the new movie was coming out. You can see it. Now, that pitch pipe, nobody knew I had that. I just did that for that scene.
It was nice touch. And it kind of released the tension there, too. It was a little comedic moment.
Yeah.
But another great shot right here. I mean, look at the flags in the background and the squad car and the little whoo that drives off.
Just looks good, yeah.
That was a well done scene.
Well, and you can kind of see him continuing to think about what was said there when he comes back into the room, because they did a great job editing this and writing it so that you did understand that he's thinking about his dad the whole time here after what I said to him, because he's looking at his dad's picture.
Yeah, but even as a guy who was in the movie, I was like, turn that picture around for me. I just want to see,
see what the picture is.
Yeah, throughout the entire thing. I'm like, come on.
So we're heading back over to the autograph session. This is the 3rd day of the session, and the rivalry continues. Of course, now
get some trophies out.
Craig's got his awards over there. He's won. Awards? Oh, is that what we're doing now? Awards? Oh, that was so good. Oh, I love these scenes here. Now, one thing you might want to notice right there, you can see Colonel Harvey in the background over to the left with the hat.
White hat.
So he is right there right now, and Chris Stone and Shane are going to go in just a minute to eat, and Keith Brown, who plays Colonel Harvey, is sitting in the Loaded Goat eating.
He knew the elevator. He knew how to get up there ahead of time.
Yeah, it's like a Superman change.
Yeah.
He's actually in the room when they get back up here. I was like, oh, wow.
Now, if you haven't been to Mount Airy and you're making plans, you got to stop by the Loaded Goat. Great burgers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
they really are. It's a real restaurant.
Yeah.
It is a real place. And it's named because Jimmy, the loaded goat that ate the dynamite on the Andy Griffith Show, that's where the name came from. I love this stuff where Chris Stone thinks he's
being recognized, but he just has the mustard, the ketchup that they need at the other table.
Thank you.
It's so funny. And, Scott, who runs the Loaded Goat, really helped us out multiple times with that location. And his his daughter's in one of these scenes, in this scene coming up.
Yeah, when they come up to get the photographs with Chris Stone, they do recognize him, and they want their picture made. She's the younger or shorter of the two ladies that come up there. My wife wants to know. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that line.
All right, give me the lowdown. What's the story with Kate?
She seems nice.
Well, I mean, like,
So he's asking about Kate. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't really.
All right, so these girls finally, somebody recognizes Chris Stone.
Yeah, and on the left is Scott, the owner's daughter, and Scott and the daughter work there from time to time. You'll see them if you join. And on the right's Emmy Wright, who may have a part in the series with someone in that scene.
Yeah, let's not give away too much.
Okay. Now listen, right here when they had the two phones, one is Shane's phone, and he's excited to get pictures of Chris Stone still because they're, and the other's for the girls. But when I saw this in the movie, I'm like, did I miss something in the script where the phones get swapped and all of a sudden these girls have like Chris Stone's phone and they get a call? Like I thought there was gonna be a whole other thing going on, but it was just a moment. You know, like, more telling you about Shane than anything else. And here's the owner, Scott.
Yeah, he's the owner of Loaded Goat, which, Shane actually tells Chris Stone, he's I got that, I figured it out. But he is actually the owner of Loaded Goat.
Good guy, and I'm trying to get him to name a burger after me. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but all the food there is so good. I just want something on the menu with my name on it.
I've never had anything I didn't like.
Yeah.
So definitely head over to Loaded Goat. I'm hungry. Are you?
I'm getting. Yeah, we might have to pause for a break here. The only thing that's not believable about the scene is there's food left over on that plate. You didn't finish that burger, Chris Stone.
Thank you, Scott.
It's my pleasure.
So I think this affects him too because you got other people again talking about his dad.
Yeah.
And
All right, awesome. Hey, you guys have
it's really a build up throughout the whole movie.
That I think he's realizing that his dad is a nice guy. Maybe he didn't have that connection with him that the fans have, and that can happen sometimes. But he's starting to maybe think he maybe misjudged his dad a little bit, or the impact that he had as an actor, because I think he didn't value his acting.
Right.
He thought maybe played some parts beyond.
I heard they had to film that scene where they threw the money on the table a lot to get it to land right.
Well,
but
I remember when the first new $100 bills came out, a friend of mine said, "Have you seen the new 100s?" And I said, "I never saw the old ones." That's rich.
look at the way Kate backs away from him when he starts trying to talk to her here.
Yeah, it's a little cringy moment, I think,
is.
because he's.
And then Shane, oh, you were just talking about her. No. And
Just asking me about her. No, here she is.
look at her too, like what?
Like, what are these guys?
I love this. He gets her over. He's getting on to Shane. I don't need your help.
And just another
And
great.
then when he turns around,
Yeah,
that is awesome.
She's like, I don't need to be in this. I'm out of here. These guys are nuts.
Are you doing something with your voice?
Look, he is just confused because he's Chris Stone.
Yeah.
How is she
The ladies
resisting him?
always go to Chris Stone. Now, this is also one of my favorite Jacob Winter, Shane moments here where he's like, I don't think I would make a move. Just the way he says it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I would make a move.
It's the eyebrows coming in there on the side.
I would just, try and get to know her.
I mean, Jacob comes across in this movie as such a nice guy. And he's told us that he really enjoyed playing this role because every other show he ever gets to do, or anything, he's a bad guy or like a preppy person. And he doesn't get to play a comedy role where he's a nice guy.
And Chris sees an opportune moment here to get out of this
And you
whole
see
thing.
him videoing again. He's always videoing. So yeah, it was his phone in the Loaded Goat, and now it's here. He's always videoing. He knocks it out of his hand.
Hey, Doug. Hey, can I borrow the car for an hour?
And then this is the beginning of the transformation right
It
here.
is.
Sometimes you need a little quiet time, Allan, to clear your head and think about what's really important in life.
You do.
Doug's going to have some time doing that as his car gets stolen.
So he borrows Doug's car, and he's listening to the banjo music. That banjo music is, again, Baraka Valley.
Yeah, Becky pecking away on there, doing good.
Yeah. And this is Mayberry Mills.
And the reflection in the pond, he's getting ready to reflect on a lot of things here.
Right.
A little symbolism going on.
So you see the turtle. So turtles do get in the road in the South, but not
A desert turtle.
a desert turtle.
Yeah, I think that was, we needed a bigger turtle for the impact of the scene there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's turtles squashed all over the place right now.
So he had to dodge that big turtle.
Which, does a turtle mean to you slow down a little bit? Maybe
so,
slow down
yeah.
and reflect?
Maybe so.
I think the two together, back to back, that's what made me think in the movie, for sure.
So where he is, he's up in, it's in Meadows of Dan is where this area is. It's up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's only about 18 miles from Mount Airy, North
Yeah,
Carolina.
25, 30-minute drive.
Something like that. And this is a real place. It's the Mayberry Trading Post. And it is a place where Andy Griffith's grandparents actually used to pick up their mail at this location.
Yeah, they went to get their mail right there. Isn't that something?
Yeah, and it's an old... Well, it is exactly what it looks like. If you go in, all this stuff's in there. Now, recently it's been remodeled, and they put in a new floor and kind of leveled the floor out. But it is still open, and you can go and visit this place. And it is a really neat place. First time I ever went in it, there was an older gentleman that was running. It was one of the owners or running the place, and he was in the back of the room back there cutting lye soap into whatever size, and he would cut one and put it in a thing and then say 25 cents. And then he'd cut another one and it would say 30. But he wasn't measuring them or anything.
Well, sometimes you got to do lie on the fly, man. You know, you just throw it in a Ziploc bag and charge 35 cents for it. There's a big demand for lye soap out in that area still. I love the lighting in this scene, the contrast between the outside and the inside, and just, man, all this stuff. Don't you like walking around those kind of places?
Oh yeah, he's got so many things in here. So there's a photograph up here near the...
Coming up here on the left corner, I think.
Yeah, that is one of the backers of the movie that was unable to actually be in the movie, so they put his photograph.
Yeah, as an 8x10. It's going to pop up right over here on the left in a second.
You'll be able to see, yeah. So that's Gary Nation, is the old man at the Mayberry Trading Post. He doesn't have a name, he's just the old man. But he did a great job. I didn't get to see him or meet him at all.
But he's a well-practiced actor,
Obviously.
voiceover actor as well. You can tell just the quality of his voice. But yeah, I think he added a lot to this scene. Kind of the voice of reason.
Well, yeah, this was a huge moment in the film where he's reaching out. He's touching Chris more.
Yeah.
It's just a continuation of what he's already begun. So it's...
Yeah, it's kind of the voice Chris is hearing in his head, and now it's actually a figure telling him what he's kind of thinking, kind of to reinforce it. And this changes the trajectory of the movie in a fun way.
Right. Well, and it's kind of spooky, right? Because he just appears out of nowhere. He's not there because Chris looks over, and then he turns around, he's just there.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of questions about who is this guy? What is he? Is he an angel or what? Well, if you look behind his head when he's moving around right there, there's a cross on the bookshelf. It's right behind his head right now. When he leans forward, you'll see it. But there is a cross back there. That wasn't there before he came out there. And see it?
Yeah, I just saw it right there.
When he leans forward, you'll see it. There's another shot or two, I think you see it. But that wasn't there before. And so, what is he?
How did he get there?
Is he an angel? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It's just, and we don't know. We don't know. It's never told.
Do you have all the answers in life, Alan?
Do not.
I don't either. There's another question I have, though. I've got lots of those. And there's a little heart back there. Maybe he's the heart that's missing in Chris Stone. Stone Cold Heart.
Hey, that's deep.
I just saw that myself for the first time.
That's a deep. Oh, that's a good thought.
And what do you think about the arrowheads? Is this pointing a new direction? The arrows? Wow, that could be something you could chew on for a little bit in the podcast.
Your education's worth every penny.
Now there's the headshot we're talking
picture
about.
that we were talking about.
That's the backer who got in the movie even though he couldn't make it out there.
Well, and he knows it's Chris Stone right here. He says, "Mr. Stone."
Yeah,
I mean, how does he know who?
Well, he
is?
saw Vegan Gringo, didn't you? And that guy looked like a vegan if I ever saw
He
one.
saw Death Figure.
Gary probably eats Swiss cheese sandwiches made out of soy.
So you can see how much it affected him here, and the thoughts he's having.
Yeah.
And this just continues. It's a running thing through this. Even later, other scenes we're going to do in a little bit. He continues to reinforce what this is. So as you see here, as he's driving away, the turtle. He didn't hit the turtle.
No, thank goodness, because that's a misdemeanor.
There is some fan theories that the turtle is the old man. That is also the old man. Like maybe if it's an angel, it's a turtle, made him run off the road, then it's in the building.
Well, I don't know about where you're getting your
That's
theology,
pretty-
but
that's
I don't know.
pretty
If,
deep.
I don't know if
So these two people are Don and Betty that he's signed for. That's a nod to
Don Knotts and Betty Lynn.
Yeah,
How
Thelma
about
Lou
that?
and Barney. Yeah.
that's a nice little, super quick touch. Now Chris Hudson's just about over. Our other friend here. Come on, dude.
Yeah, so evidently balloons and music draws people over to your autograph sessions, at least
Yeah.
in here. So, see, he's starting to change already because he didn't answer the phone when Stanley called.
Yeah, and those balloons were also in his hotel room earlier. I think we saved money by moving the balloons across across the county.
We had to save money where we could.
You're the guy in Shingle Town.
Now, there's the first smile I think you actually see. The first, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Give a little bit, take a little less.
So here he goes. This is when he finally goes over and he's talking to Kate and asking her out on a date and just gets shot down.
Yeah.
I mean, ouch. I mean, she's not even nice about it. I'm just not interested.
No. Well, why should she be? He doesn't even like how to. He doesn't like how to. He doesn't like drinking coffee. Why would you even go on a date with a guy like this?
So yeah, she just shoots him down completely.
It'd be great if one of these balloons just deflated at this moment, or popped.
We didn't have the budget. to
Well,
do
you
that
know,
kind of-
special effects.
Yeah. So the worker here carrying out stuff, that's the writer director
Stark. Yeah.
Stark Howell.
And you know, just like Hitchcock, you got to get in the movie somewhere.
Yeah. And I didn't know this, but Chris, that him getting his arm hooked, that was an accident. That didn't mean they didn't mean for that to happen. So here's where he runs into me as I'm coming out of the barber shop. Because I had to leave, because if I stay in there too long, people want me to cut some hair.
Yeah, and here's our friend who plays Mr. Swamp.
Yeah, Dennis Bill.
Who's an incredible Mayberry historian.
He is. He's a trivia expert. And so these cat pictures I'm pulling out of my pocket, I have been carrying those around since 1994. I did not actually cut the cat's hair. I just want you to know that. That was a vet that did that. And the after picture is actually before. So it grew the hair back, and I took the picture of it.
Gotcha. A propitia moment.
Yeah.
Now here we are getting ready to get into one of the biggest capers in the entire movie.
This is so fun. When I read the script, this part of the movie, the script, was the part I was just, we've got to get this right. This feels like the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
You know, this feels like an adventure.
There goes a car. I never forget a car.
You never forget a car. Oh, I wonder whatever happened to the original.
Should have been the Smithsonian. They had to put one in the Smithsonian. But again, first time Chris here is thinking about somebody besides himself.
Oh, that's true.
He knows how he can make us happy by just doing something simple for us.
Because he knows where one is, yeah.
No, I know where there's
One
an
what?
original.
Oh.
A real one? The real? What?
So, talking about the cat pictures there, when we actually filmed that, we filmed the long shot of me showing him the cat pictures, but we didn't film the close-up where you could actually see what I was showing him. That was actually filmed later at a different spot. I mean, we weren't even in the same general area when we filmed it.
Did you use a stunt hand
It
to
was a-
hold the
it
book?
was
Or was
a
that your
stunt-
actual hand?
It was a stunt cat.
There
That's
you
what
go.
it was. But it's always so cool how they can put these things together, and it just all seems seamless.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, the hat that I'm wearing in the movie was sold later on to raise more money for the editing costs and stuff as part of the Indiegogo, which, you know, fans funded this whole movie.
They did, yeah.
And
they
we
did.
can't say enough thanks for that. But this hat belongs to somebody else now. I don't wear that one anymore.
So here we are on the adventure. Here we finally go, and so Barney's.
I'm in my squad car that I drove to the festival, which I
Right.
don't actually have one. People offer to sell them to me all the time, but I don't know how to work on them. But we would have a conversation like this if we were going to a festival, wouldn't we?
We would.
You know,
We would.
the origins of Ernest T. Bass's name and the family lineage and all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, here you're driving too slow because this is a.
Well, that's a real delicate machine now. You treat her right, and she'll treat you right.
But she's just a replica.
What would it look like if a lawman was speeding? But we had fun. This was at Connor Prairie, just outside of Indianapolis, and this was like 4 a.m. We were out there, a little chilly, so we were happy to be in the car. If you remember,
Oh, yeah.
we were wearing blankets when we were outside, and
Right.
we're not actually moving. People were rocking the car back and forth.
Oh, this is where they had us he asked us, "Did you bring a change of clothes?" And we looked at each other. That was Rik's idea, how we did that, where we looked at each other, looked down at our clothes, and then looked back up.
Yeah, the 3-beat, the look over. Yeah, no. And we were actually able to call that back in the series.
That's right. Well, so this whole scene here where we're talking about Ernest T, that's a real conversation that we had. Me and the guy that plays Otis, Ken Junkin, we actually had this conversation driving back from Mayberry in the Midwest, an event they don't have anymore, but it was in Danville. And we had this whole conversation about Ernest T. And I did a podcast about it because I thought it was an interesting thing. And Stark listened to the podcast and he goes, "Oh, so he stole the dialogue."
Yeah.
So he told me he shouldn't have any trouble remembering the lines on this scene.
And that probably would have been me in the back seat if I just met you and Ken doing that. I'd be in it for a while, but I'm like, okay, enough, fellas.
What are you guys talking about? But this again here, where I get upset because he got onto us. You know, family's important.
Right.
And what you say and what we're saying here, I think it really affects.
It affects Chris, but I got to be honest. When we were shooting this, I didn't understand the gravitas and the heaviness of that family. It's real, and I didn't, because it was 4 a.m.
Right.
I wasn't thinking, well, this is his moment to realize that he doesn't have the family connection that he should have had,
right,
and that we do, even though we're just these crazy people.
I agree. Well, I don't think Barney and Floyd in the movie knew it either.
No,
I mean,
we didn't know.
So
yeah, we wouldn't have known. I
You're
guess.
right. We didn't know that it was. So here, when this scene starts, we were standing back there behind those trees. There's a generator.
Some good diesel fumes.
To light the lighting you see back there, to keep that light there. And it was so loud we could barely hear them say action, so we could go.
And I actually tripped over a rock there. It was dark and we were trying to stay on time, but I just totally almost did a face plant there.
Yeah, we were afraid you were going to get hurt or something.
Now, we've talked about this and other people have at the meetups that we've had, but being a night shoot, it kind of transitions into black and white in a very subtle way, and I think that's what makes this particular scene and series of scenes flow, kind of like the old Andy Griffith Show. It is that nighttime, almost day for night kind of look, and this is a great. You reaching around and we're not there. It was almost like the Animaniacs meet the Andy Griffith Show. You know, we're like on the Warner Brothers lot and we're sneaking around in the middle of the night and just having a good old time here.
This was so fun. And what was fun about it is when we were filming some of those things, like when I reached backwards and you weren't there, the first time we did it, everybody that was filming and watching it started laughing as soon as they cut the scene because they thought it was funny.
Yeah. Now, I got to tell you, this car belongs to Terry Varvel, who will be in the scene coming up. He had just bought this car, had it waxed and cleaned up, and Stark said, we're going to have to make it look like it's been sitting out and rusty. So they had to throw cornstarch on it and dirt and powder and flour and leaves. And Terry the whole time was like, I hope this comes off. I mean, this is the first time he gets to get in. I mean, literally the first week I think he had the car.
Yeah.
And thanks to him for letting us use it. And it's been the winner at some Squad Car Nationals and some of these meetups.
I love this. So Rik gets in the car here. This whole scene right here, can I? You know, that whole thing is great. But when you get in here, I was actually lucky enough to be standing over here looking through the window, watching you do this. And it was hilarious. And every time we've shown it in a theater with a crowd of people, the crowd always starts laughing. And I remember as you were doing it, Stark said, just kept going, keep going. Keep going, so you could just do more faces and stuff.
Yeah, kind of went through the whole Barney. Should I be here? I am here. I'm here, baby. You know, the whole owning it.
It was great.
And again, this was so late at night that we were just kind of. I was just trying to remember where I was, weren't you?
Yeah, it was we did these obviously night shoots. We had 2 in a row, so we're hearing the people now over in the. Whatever this was, noise. Every time I watch this scene, even now, I think you're going to slam this door because it looks like.
But she's a delicate machine now. You treat her right, she'll treat you right.
So this is at a whole different place. That other thing was at Connor Prairie, and now we're at another
in a cornfield at another donated spot.
I love that shot there where we do the Three Stooges kind of ding, 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 you know, and look.
And then we come back.
Yeah.
And this was, again, this for me was the last night of shooting.
Yeah, this was the last thing we filmed, I believe, that night.
We were running on coffee and some moon pies at this point. But I like this, too, because it's the first time that I've come out of character. of the impersonator, and when I see people commenting on the movie like, "My name's Warren," like they just LOLing on that because it's you didn't want to have to be Barney there at that moment, or a Barney Fife impersonator.
Right, and and of course it's funny because Warren was, well, never mind, Chris Stone doesn't know that.
Right.
So yeah, this we were also kneeling on gravel
for a while.
Yeah, so finally they brought us some quilt type things that you could kneel on to try to, because the gravel was just eating into our knees. Because we were down like that for a long time.
Oh yeah, we're some 50-year-old men.
If you watch when Rik gets up here in a minute to go in there, he has a little bit of a hard time, and Chris Stone just pushes.
Yeah, I get a little Reggie Bush push here in a second to get into the end zone. There we go. What did we got? How would Barney do it? There he is.
I love this. We'll be right here. And then.
Yeah, so here comes the push.
Yeah, here comes. Yeah. So Rik did better than I would have getting up, by the way.
And then whoop, there we go.
He pushed him. And you did. This is obviously right from the Andy Griffith Show when Barney was looking around in Weaver's department store. He was duck walking, is what that's called. And you were doing that.
I was getting down the best I could.
Oh, you did a great job.
And then this shot, well, after he gets in here, when I come up, from the angle where the cameras were and where I was, it was really tricky. So we actually, I think they got one of the ones that we meant to get, but we did a reverse where I started at the top and went back down to make sure that my face was fully visible for the camera, because it's just a really weird angle.
So they're still in this unknown orange car with 01 on the front, because we had to cover it up because there would be a trademark or copyright problem.
Yeah, and there in the plaid shirt on the left is Terry Varvel, and he owns the car that I just got out of where I was really hamming it up behind the wheel. And he does Barney Fife and a few different characters. He does Warren and others, and great guy. And I want to tell you about this gun for a second. This pistol right here, so Kelly Rolfson lives in Indianapolis. She had that gun, if I remember right, and I tried to text her today to find out the details, but that was within her family for a while. And it was like a really old, precious gun. And so she would bring it to the set every day. Even if the gun didn't show up on the screen, she wanted me to have it in my holster. And we're talking, some of these mornings we had to be there at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., the night shoots. She just wanted to be close to the gun, but wanted the gun to be in every scene. So again, thanks to Kelly for letting me handle that weapon there, and I don't think I damaged it.
Yeah, it was really pretty. Well, Floyd was stopping the guys from leaving by using my scissors. People sometimes can't see that I'm holding scissors.
Yeah. What is this?
What is this?
And then if you want to look real quick to right here, the police officer, one of the girls that comes up in the loaded goat earlier, Emmy, that's her dad, and he runs the theater there in Danville.
And the Great Clips that I was in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was his. Yeah.
Gotcha. But a good guy, and it was fun to act off.
It's great at Great Clips.
It is?
Yeah, it's not good there. It's great.
It's great.
Yeah, because I got that wrong a few times.
Well, the number one thing to know when you're fighting law in the big city. This moment here, I was just getting into full Barney Fife. I was like, man, I wish I had 2 more lines before he cut me off.
I love this, though. You're just gone.
I'm just gone. Just like Kate outside the loaded goat. I'm not there when you turn around.
And then it cuts right to us in the squad car. You're ripping it out of there, and we're laughing and happy. And
I'm still a little tense from the action. I'm still trying to, as Barney, work through just what happened and how we came out on the right side of things.
You want to nip it, Floyd? Yeah, that was so fun.
And I got a little sunburn there on my neck. I'd gone for a bike ride the day before the night shoots because we had the daytime free. A little sunburn.
So Chris Stone comes in and basically is passing out because we've been out all night.
I mean, it's daybreak. He tries to go to bed, but what's going to happen here? Phone call.
Phone rings as soon as he hits the bed. And there's Doug.
I'm outside ready to pick you up.
Yeah, just give me 5 minutes.
That's not enough time to pick up that fine continental breakfast there in the lobby, is it?
It's not.
Nothing like a good lobby waffle to get your day going.
So I guess we were fine, though. We were out all night, too, and we show up later.
Well, you know, when you're a lawman, you got to work different hours.
Barber.
Use your body as a weapon.
I guess a barber, too. You're just used to it. You know, I'm on my feet all day.
Well, you can't cut a werewolf's mane in the middle of the day. Sometimes you got to stay up at night.
All right, so we're back at the autograph session. This is the 5th day, and they're still competing. So he's got Briscoe on his side over there. Craig does, and then Greg has got Opie.
And I did not get to say hello to this young guy. I wasn't in the scene, and I saw him going down the hallway. I thought he'd be there all day. I wanted to get a picture while I was decked out as Barney Fife and didn't get a chance to do it.
There were people thinking that was really Opie. Like they had like CG'd him or something. I was like, wow.
There's time travel out there.
So we had the people getting a picture made. They were wearing Weaver's clothes. That was product placement. That's what that was.
Weaver's is a real department store online.
It is. Weaver's department store.
And you can get all kinds of Mayberry stuff there.
Yeah. And my wife runs it. So
information about Mayberry meetups and all kinds of information at Weaver's Department Store.
.com.
Actually, my mother-in-law bought me some sweaters from Christmas from there. And I guess talk to your wife, and she said that.
Did the hair start coming out in bunches?
A little bit. Yeah.
So we're back at the hotel.
Oh, sun's out, guns out.
Talking to his mom. Yeah.
I love you too.
Talking to his mom. Yeah, the ladies like this shot, I guess. They,
Well, he's being a good son here. You call your mom and your dad.
Talking to his mom and
check in. Luckily, he did call his dad.
Well, this was really nice because this is he's already gone through all these different things and now he's reaching out to his dad. So he's been thinking about him all week.
Turning the corner.
Yeah, and it's a big point, I believe, and real moving.
This movie should really be shown across the country on Father's Day weekend, year after year.
Ooh,
there's plenty of Christmas movies and Halloween movies. But Father's Day movies.
Perfect Father's Day movie.
Perfect Father's Day gift. Get the DVD at weaversdepartmentstore.com.
Or at other streaming services.
Yeah, check mayberryman.com for more information.
Yeah, this is good. So it's good when he finally does talk to his dad. I mean, I think that's you really see that the Mayberry people have
had an impact.
Yeah, they've really changed it.
And you know what, too? I know everything comes down to script and timing and stuff, but the length of the phone call was just right. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not going to get into a 2-hour conversation with somebody he's just reconnecting with. He just kind of wants to touch base, get out.
Right.
Let it start.
Yeah.
But I thought it was played well by Brett. And obviously, I didn't know him before the movie. I don't know if you did either. But since to see the other movies he's been in, like, we got lucky having this guy.
We really did, yeah. Yeah, he did a great job being a person at the beginning that you kind of didn't like, but you still kind of liked him. There was something about him you liked, even though I gotta get going. He was.
Well, I found that way to be off stage too. Like, I didn't like him till halfway through the movie. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it was easier to like him the more the character was likable.
It was
for sure.
He was able to play that role that way, so that it was, even though he had things about him that you didn't like, there was something about him you did like. And I just think he did a great job. Yeah,
he knew how to get from point A to point B, character with the arc that I'm still be learning for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But he had to have you have to hold back a little bit so you can go somewhere.
We were very fortunate. All right, so now Craig and Greg, they're buddies now, and they're coming in here. They're trying to do this pitch. Now, where they say this here, where they say, "Don't make me howl." Well, obviously that's a nod to the Howells when they did that. Now we got Kate she's come over to talk to Chris.
She's like, maybe I was a little bit too harsh with you there.
Yeah, I think so. Man.
But maybe he was coming on a little strong too.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he deserved it. He kind of says that.
How about these two good-looking guys up in this poster? Do you see that up at the top of the screen?
That's a great poster. Yeah.
Do you have that?
No, I don't. That they only had about 2 of those, and they moved them around throughout the series or movie. They would move it from one location to the other wherever Sherry thought it needed to be. Mm-hmm. She was the art director.
Right.
And she would move it from one location to another so it'd be in the scene.
Yeah, yeah. She did a great job, and her daughter's in one scene towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
If we can remember to point her out.
Definitely will.
But, yeah, they were fun to have around.
Yeah, they're both in that scene. Because she won't let her watch the movie.
The death...
Shingletown. My mom won't let me watch Shingletown. It's her. Yeah.
All right, so things are turning around for Chris Stone here, maybe.
Yeah, he's looking pretty happy, and now he's fixing to get the pitch for the movie from Craig and Greg.
He accidentally looked approachable for a moment, and they seized that moment with an alien movie, and maybe that pays off for one of these guys.
Yeah,
you know, maybe they end up
maybe
doing
you
pretty
need
well.
to watch the series to find out what happens on this stuff.
Thank you so much for
Now there's John Moe on the left, by the way, and a good guy, good backer of the movie, and just a fun guy to have around. And little known fact, he plays Billy the Kidney.
Billy the Kidney.
Yeah, for kidney fundraisers and stuff for that in the Indianapolis area. But I like John a lot.
Oh, so this is where he's calling Shane out on the golf course because he can't find him. Or well, I guess he's talking to Stanley right now, telling him to cancel the meeting.
Yeah.
He's been working so hard. So that sign there, you see the sign? That's the same sign that was in there. Earlier. They just moved it. So by the end of the movie, it was starting to look a little rough because it got moved around.
Yeah, indoor, outdoor.
So you can't find Shane. Where is he? And so Shane's out on the golf course. We're fixing to see that, and this is a funny scene. I don't know how much of this Shane ad-libbed or Jacob.
Oh, hey, Mr. Stone.
But he just really he took that role and really did a lot with it. I mean, there was a chemistry between Jacob and Brett that came across on the screen very well, and you could just see it.
Well, I think what you see more than anything else is, actors, and we're impersonators.
Well, that's probably true.
Although we've come a little way, but these guys have studied acting. They know how to do some things. And I thought they, along with, several of the other people that stepped up, like Chris Bowman, just really made the most out of their scenes every single time.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And I was just trying to remember what I was supposed to be doing and stick with it. But moving forward, I like to have a little bit more fun. But Shane takes great advantage of this scene in the golf club. Keep an eye on the club.
So the club actually comes from a slightly different angle because it's not the same club because they were afraid it was going to hit somebody.
Yeah. So one club went forward and then somebody tossed that over his head.
Yeah.
And again, making the most out of a quick scene there.
I love this line where he's like, Chris Stone. Looking in the window. Or in
Sometimes
the
you got to give yourself a pep talk, Now, the Mayberry Cafe in Danville, Indiana.
Yeah.
You can go there. You can eat. They've got TV screens on the wall showing Mayberry episodes. The squad car sitting out front, I believe one time got smashed into.
Oh, it got totaled.
Got
completely,
totaled.
yes.
But
and it doesn't sit out on the front anymore. It sits on the side.
Yeah.
Because it got totaled twice, or hit. And one time totaled.
Good food there. We went there for a kind of a wrap party pre-movie premiere thing and had a good time. But again, Chris Stone doesn't drink coffee. I don't know how you live with yourself. I don't like coffee. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't catch a break trying to talk to Kate.
Would you like to walk?
No.
But she does agree to walk with him. And in here, so they wanted it to look like this is a modern day. This is current. But director Stark, he wanted to have a vintage feel. So there's a lot of older classic cars in the background and have extras dressed in, vintage clothing and stuff like that.
And you would see some of these types of cars at Mayberry festivals.
You would.
I mean, we've certainly seen them in like Granville and places like that where people bring their old school cars to these things. But it's nice to have a squad car in the background and some of those older dudes.
And there were several squad cars there. It wasn't just one or two or three.
There was like 5 to 7, I think. Yeah, people really took advantage. Well, think about it. If you're a Mayberry fan, you hear there's a Mayberry movie going on, anything connected with it, you want your car in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just some
Trying
bragging
to bring
rights.
your car, yeah. Yeah, you can say as seen in Mayberry Man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sign some autographed pictures of your car.
Yeah.
But I do like some of these cars, man. I love the old Mustangs.
Well, it really added a lot to the way the movie felt, I think, because they had so many period things. Like there's a different car.
Yeah.
So there's just so many.
Well, when you talk about production value, that's what a film looks like versus what it costs to make.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the ratio was on this film, but it looks phenomenal.
It does.
And again, it was crowdfunded, and again, thanks to all those people that helped us get it done, but just the volunteers that stood in there and the people that brought their cars, just amazing.
Well, that's something we hadn't really talked about. There were a lot of volunteers.
Well, wait till you see the ending credits and the people that funded and just showed it up. I mean, there was over 1,000 people involved, I'm sure.
Yeah, and there were people there every day. They didn't get paid. They came and they helped provide snacks or something, or water, or there were just people doing security type
Well,
things.
this whole parade, I just want to tell you, they shut down the street. There was no actual parade going on during this weekend. They said, if you want to be in the parade, you got a car, or if you want to be on the side, show up. And look how people just showed up to, these are all volunteers. Right. Baraka Valley up there on the truck. There's Christy again and Michelle doing their thing.
And there were a lot of extras. We had a lot because it was over a holiday weekend when we did this.
Mm-hmm.
But there weren't enough to line the entire parade route. So when you see the people on the sides, those same people,
they come around.
They may be in other spots too.
Yeah, they'll come around to the courthouse square.
Yeah, because they moved them around, or they moved them to the side that the camera would be shooting toward to make it look more people. And they did an amazing. That's in Mount Airy, that scene.
Right, and
then
then
it drops back to
Vanville, because I wasn't in Mount Airy for the movie.
Yeah. So they did a lot of stuff to make it feel like a real Mayberry event. And again, it was during the COVID time frame, and so it was almost impossible to do something like that.
Yeah. And this was like the second day of shooting, right? Second or
that
third day.
was, the parade was, yes.
So there was a lot going on right off the gate where I'm like, whoa, this is a big project.
Yeah. Oh, so this is bad, because Kate overhears this conversation. She hears the judge, Judge Lowry, I guess, telling Chris that he's completed his sentence, and she hears that.
Yeah, and I remember having to sort of listen and tell Kate when they're done talking and give her a little tap so she can go over here. And this was a cicada mess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when they filmed Forrest Gump, they had cicada problems. So what I heard that they did on that set was they made loud clapping noises, and the cicadas would stop for 20 or 30 seconds. So we did that a couple times here to kind of see if we could shut them down. So you'll still hear some come through, but it was a lot. And it was hot. Remember how hot it was?
It was hot, yeah. Oh, it was hot.
Well, the volunteers.
Oh,
they brought us little personal fans.
It's 92.
And umbrellas.
Yeah, it was definitely hot. So there's because of some of that kind of stuff, we had to do some pickups. So there's some scenes here that most people don't even notice. They were filmed at a different place. We filmed them at the 4-H building, actually. This is where you and me and Brett are talking here. There's some shots that are from a different angle, and they're not at this location.
Or on the same day.
Yeah, that's it right there. So that's a different place. Yeah, a different day, a different place. But nobody really. I've asked if people noticed this, and most people never noticed it. I mean, I'm sure a filmmaker.
Well, they do now.
Well, they will now if they listen to this. So you got the inside track.
And
now.
so we're back to the first day.
Yeah.
And then it'll cut again to the second day.
I'm sure a filmmaker or somebody like that would know that, but
look at these good-looking Mayberry guys. The men of Mayberry. Ladies, I hope you're taking note. You got your Goober, you got your Gomer, you got your Briscoe, you got your Mayor,
you got your
Otis, you got your Otis,
you got Mr. Swamp in the back there.
I mean, is there 12 of us? Can we do a Men of Mayberry calendar? I know the fire department does it.
Oh, I don't know how that'll work.
So, it's like we always say.
Once you've been to
Mayberry Fest,
your family. There you go.
Thanks, Floyd.
And then back to the other day,
Yeah.
a separate location.
You'll be at the talent show tonight.
And it's really not that noticeable.
No, I thought they did a good job.
They did a great job of shooting it. Now, the one thing we did have to do is like my scissors and comb and all that stuff. I don't really pay attention to where they are in my pocket. But since this was exactly the same shot, we had to make sure my stuff in my pocket was in the right order.
Go back and look at the continuity.
Right. Because I wore the same shirt, tie. It wasn't the same shirt, by the way.
It was getting a little right there. A little right by the time we got to the loaded goat.
I had about 7 of the same shirts and 7 coats, and I had 3 ties, and a bunch of pairs of blue pants too. So I had a lot.
Now, what I didn't say there, and we can cut this out if it doesn't play with our audience, but when Michelle and Christy came running through that time, I wanted to say, looks like a couple of cougars got loose from the Mayberry Zoo. But I ran it by Stark. He's like, no.
Yeah, that's a little much.
But they were after Jacob there, so Now, who is this strapping young man?
All right, so this is Courthouse, the producer of Mayberry Man, here trying to check into the hotel.
And he doesn't want a room next to that Ernest T. fella. He didn't want no broken windows.
So there's been questions, why does he not like Ernest T? My theory is because his dad was married to Charlene, and Ernest T kept trying to steal him from him.
That must be it.
But yeah, his character was Mr. Bowden, which is Trey Bowden, Opie's buddy from the Andy Griffith Show.
Here you go.
And this is Olivia Disney. She did a great job here, just being starstruck, poking back around the counter.
Mr. Stone?
She did
Again, a small
great
part, but made
job.
the most of it.
Oh, great job, she did.
I was wondering.
She looks so enamored with Chris Stone. It almost looks like when he asked her name, I just wish she'd had a name tag on where she could just look and see what it was.
Yeah.
Because it's like my name. Oh, my name.
It's Jill.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, she did a good job, and
She did.
I guess Chris Stone has a certain demographic. It's starting to appear like the younger gals, huh?
I guess so. That's the only scene she's in, but she did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so Chris is writing a note to the Mayberry family and to Kate.
He seems to be reflecting there.
Ooh, that's deep too.
Well, you know, it's a tried and true staple of most movies is to have a moment of reflection. Can you see the room number? This would be a great trivia question, but I don't see if we can see the room number on there. No,
On the phone,
that
no.
would have been good.
Oh, so here, this is one of the places where you really see that, he's really changed. I mean, he is given Doug information about how to get his. He's going to pay for it.
He's already paid for it. Just call the guy.
Yeah, just call the guy.
It's done.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Thanks, Mr. Stone. It's Chris.
To get his car seat fixed.
And don't let
And then Shane has found that he likes the pace of
Shane
life in
didn't-
Mayberry.
Yeah, he didn't tell you?
Well, he must have been making some pretty good money as a personal assistant. Look at that.
So he bought a house, yeah. So that house, by the way, is right beside the location where the car was being stolen. That's the same place.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this, I love this line where he says, "Scooch, buddy, scooch." I use that now all the time. That was something I'd never used before.
That kid was, and he played along. He thought he was in trouble after the first take. He goes, I'm like, no, it was just having fun, buddy.
So in this scene, the guy that's looking at the car, his name's Jim. And Jim is a nod to Jim Clark, the presiding goober of the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club. And that's Jeff Barry, who's the It's Real guy. It's him. That's him. It's real.
Yeah, you want to talk about milking a line. This guy could have had a dairy farm.
Oh, did
but
he?
it was great.
So the letter I'm reading here, that's in the script that I didn't want to have to remember it, so I wrote it all down on that piece of paper and stuck it under the car, just in case the prop people didn't do it. So I didn't have to try to remember what Chris Stone written. I could just read it off of the paper.
Whenever possible, have your lines somewhere where you can see them.
I still have the piece of paper. I still have it. So I have that note.
Now I like this crane shot or however we got that jib shot, kind of panning up and then coming back down on the mansion.
Now we're heading out to the Chris Stone's mansion. And remember, the inside is different than the outside. It's two different places.
Two different places.
Deli sandwich ever. Of course.
And do you remember what fruit we picked up in this house and did a photo op with? Do you remember we were in the kitchen and me, you, Rob, and one other person grabbed a banana?
I thought it was a banana. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so now I didn't know this. Jackie Joseph was supposed to have played Chris Stone's mom, but she couldn't because of the COVID restrictions and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So this lady ended up.
She did great.
Now, Jackie, if you don't know who that is, that's Ramona, my darling Romina. And that's who that is from the Andy Griffith Show. And this lady did an amazing job. She was great. It was a small role there.
And the casting was good. Like you could see that as being his mom.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Floyd.
Now that we get to go visit in L.A. because
We do.
every once in a while we go do all L.A. things.
That's
and all
right.
Mayberry things.
Just all things Mayberry.
Absolutely did.
So to film that shot there of me on the phone, they had me up on a ladder looking up into a camera. They were up on the ladder looking down at me, and I was looking up at a camera. I think Larry's great in here. He says, "Does he owe you money?" I love that.
Yeah.
I'm serious about the money thing.
Now, little known fact: some of the artwork that's on the wall there is just artwork that was already there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that takes a lot of work. So you saw the vegan gringo. He's got another poster in that room of vegan gringo.
It did well.
It did.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money off of that.
Yeah, they didn't sell a lot of hot dogs in the theater that week.
Here's the surprise. Oh, there he is.
And I got to wear the old Barney Fife on Vacation shirt. You know, that was kind of fun. Little nod and the hat.
Yeah, that was awesome. So, yeah, we were out there going to see all the stuff up at Myers Lake, Franklin Canyon.
Which you actually did.
I did. As a matter of fact, I did it back in February, just recently. This is where they filmed the opening credits. Yeah, did all that stuff. And we really do go out there every so often and do some of that kind of stuff.
You know, people can learn more about that by listening to Two Chairs No Waiting podcast, because you'll tell people when you'll be out there and they can just tag along and have fun, right?
Oh, yeah. And they'll learn more than they wanted to know.
They'll learn where stuff used to be.
That's right. Things that aren't there anymore. We'll tell you all about it.
I like this big surprise here is we've got a few more people waiting to see Chris Stone and celebrate, have a little fun here out in California.
Right. So, well, he brought the whole studio. That's.
Well, he's got that kind of money.
He bought a whole studio.
That figure 8 residuals coming in.
We've got a surprise for you.
So we go out there and everybody's going to sing happy birthday to him. And I didn't realize this, but just in a few minutes you're going to have a lady that says, "Can you believe we're all here?" Well, that's the Indiana first
lady.
Yeah, Janet Holcomb. I didn't know that.
Well, there was a lot of moving parts going on that day.
Yeah, they were singing. It was people coming in. Come on in, everybody. You know.
Come on in, everybody.
Yeah, I got to, after, I'm pretty much done. So I got to hang out on this side of the front porch and watch all these scenes being shot with the owners of the house, a very sweet couple. And they were just having a blast with everybody coming in and out of their place. It was pretty fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he's looking for Kate.
Yeah, he's trying to see if she made the trip too.
Did she come?
And
Oh,
then
there it is. That's Sherry.
the set director,
Yeah,
designer.
Jim
Yep. And there's your daughter.
Bryan. That's Hattie.
And Doug made the trip, and he left that car out there for you because you got picked up in it one day.
He did.
And there's Kate.
Finally, there's Kate. Oh, look. Oh, this is the Hallmark moment right here. Right?
Yep. This is the summer springtime Hallmark movie of the week moment that you'll interrupt.
This was so uncomfortable for me because it has me, they're almost about to, and then I jump right in there. Now, Ashley, Kate's husband, says this is his favorite scene. He likes that I did that.
You stopped everything from going down.
It was his favorite.
And then I like the little teaser kicker, what just happened moment that's coming in here at the very end of the movie.
The old guy.
Oh, yeah.
The old guy at the trading post.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Who is he? Who is this old guy? Of course, I played this off like, oh, you're tricking me.
Right.
Yeah, there was no old man up there. You're a good actor.
It's been closed for years.
Right. And
Talk to him.
so this just plays into that whole thing. Who is the old man at the trading post? It's been closed for years. By the way, it's not closed. Please go there and visit.
Right.
We don't want people to not go there because they think it's closed. It is open. You can go there. But Chris, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. So the credits are going to roll.
Can I just say something about the music?
Oh, yeah.
So Levi Riggs has this incredible song that he threw in here. And just an incredible, just upbeat. It feels, when I heard it, I'm like, why isn't somebody else recording this and getting it on the air on the radio? It's a perfectly written song. And Jefferson Denham wrote a lot of the songs too, who is a friend of Stark's and grew up with him and all this stuff. But great music throughout from Barack and Levi Riggs.
So here's the closing scene here. So Chris Stone's been signing his picture and his dad's picture. So this came up toward the middle of the movie. They actually changed the end. So he's signing Mr. Schwamp's picture. So that's supposed to be Walter Stone.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Schwamp. That's not really his name. We don't know Mr. Schwamp's name. Nobody's ever figured it out. But that came up as an idea. And so they changed some things through the movie that he had passed away and all that kind of stuff had happened. And they told a couple of us because we had lines that had to change, and they told us why. Mm-hmm. But it was a secret until the movie came out that was the case.
Yeah.
And it's a surprise, and a lot of people don't see it because they don't sit through the credits.
Well, this is one movie you want to sit through the credits because I just want you to see how many people pitched in to make this thing happen. I mean, on screen, off screen, behind the screens, promotion, social media. Nobody watching this now would be watching it if it wasn't for all those people that helped us out. So, thanks again to everybody that did that.
Yeah, there were so many. There were people. Actually, my brother donated toward the thing. I didn't know it until I saw his name in the credits.
Oh wow! I need to shoot him a thank you note.
Yeah, and I think Rik Lowry, he's in there as like 3 or 4 different names. He's got different names. The mayor, the judge.
And I tell you, if you're watching this and you want to meet the mayor, the best thing you do is look up Mayberry Comes to Scottsburg, because Eric is putting on a Mayberry Festival in Scottsburg, Indiana. You may not see it this year. Just keep an eye on the Facebook for it for when it comes back around next year, maybe.
Yeah, as we record this, it's 2023, and this will be the first year of the Mayberry Comes to Scottsburg. And it should be a great event. So
I can already tell you it's going to be my favorite Mayberry event.
Yeah.
Just with his heart and his knowledge of what goes into these things and the town getting behind it. But there's 3 or 4 that we go to every year. Mm-hmm. So again, if you don't know about them, Granville, Indiana has one in early spring.
Yep. You can always look at iMayberry.com. There's an event calendar on iMayberry.com, and it'll show you all these different events you can come to. And I definitely encourage you to try to come because you'll get to experience some of the things you saw in this movie.
And I guarantee you'll see at least 7 to 15 of the people that were in the movie while you're there, because they are the people that go and do these things, and it's kind of, the movie was kind of a tip of the hat to them as much as anything else.
Yeah.
As much as a neat little love story, it's kind of a love story, like a love note or a thank you card to the fans of Mayberry.
It is. And we had, I mean, there were so many people that supported it, and some people like, we had support from like Dixie Griffith. Andy's daughter was also a big supporter of the movie. She was going to be in it again because of some of the COVID stuff. She wasn't able to do that, but there were just so many people that really added to the connection between the Andy Griffith Show and Mayberry Man that kind of gave it legitimacy, I guess, maybe is the right way.
Well, when you see people that were connected to the actual show, think about this as being a way to extend that show's reach and just reach more people. And maybe people have never watched the Andy Griffith Show see this for some reason. They want to go back and look. In fact, I know for a fact some people have bought some DVDs of this after my shows. I said, you know, I haven't watched the Andy Griffith Show in forever, but I'm going to watch the movie and then get back into it. Or some younger people come up and go, man, I don't know what that Barney 5 thing was you're doing, but I'm going to check it out. So it's kind of fun just to kind of keep it moving forward a little bit. It's been on the air for over 60 years.
I think that was the goal, to reach new audience, new people, to bring them into the Andy Griffith Show experience. Because I think, of course I'm biased, but I think there's something about it that's just it's special. It's been on for all these years, and the stories are still relevant even today. And I think this movie is going to be a similar thing like that. I think it'll stick around a long time and be fun to watch for a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean, we don't get the old TV shows like we used to, and they don't write them like that. Now prequels are a big thing. I like to see maybe a series done called Early Mr. Furley. We can start writing that and
there you go.
See if we can just keep this tradition of bringing back some great shows.
Yeah. Well, folks, we hope you've enjoyed spending this, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours with us nearly, I guess. Just as we enjoyed watching the movie ourselves, because, I mean, I'm a fan of it myself.
Allan, just be honest for a second. How many times have you watched the Mayberry Man movie?
I don't know. It's above 30 something. I don't know, because we went to a lot of screenings. I figured this is the only time I will ever be in a movie, so I tried to do as much as I could. But I've seen it a lot. And one other reason is because people now come up to me and expect me to know lines from the movie, so I had to watch it to try to remember all my lines.
Yeah, well, lucky for me, when somebody comes up and goes, aren't you? I'm like, oh, a stranger in town. Because I can't remember everybody's name. I wish I could, but I've met so many people.
You've got it great out.
Ah, a stranger. Well, I never forget a face, but you're a stranger in town.
Starts with a C. No.
Yeah. Cal, Clay, Cliff.
No, Chris, of course.
Yeah, we've had a good time with you. Hope you enjoyed this commentary behind the scenes. And I'm sure if you were part of this process, you've got even more input that we didn't know about in your own personal moments when you were there volunteering or being an extra. next time you catch one of us, let us know what you saw that we didn't.
Yeah, and if we left out anybody as we were talking, it wasn't on purpose.
It was just because we talk a lot.
Well, it's hard to say everything while the movie's actually playing.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool moments in there. Everybody associated did a good job, and so just fun to be part of, and I'm very excited for people to see Mayberry Man the series.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you there on Mayberry Man the series then. Come over and watch us there.
Yep, should be fun.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, Al.
Traveling down this highway all alone.
I've been approached with dozens and dozens of ideas for movies. And Mayberry Man resonated with me. Everything the show represented, all the good stuff, the being a better person because you're from Mayberry. And it's the kind of movie I'd like to see. You know, and the wonderful thing about the story of Mayberry Man is it involves the people that come to Mayberry Days and sort of become the characters.
Look at that. I've got to go. I'm a tenor in the Mayberry Barbershop Quartet. You want to go?
Allan Newsome has been morphing into Floyd the Barber for a long, long time. I think it's 25 years that Allan has been leading the charge of Mayberry citizens as Floyd. He plays a wonderful Floyd. From the moment I saw him, I thought, that man has it. And Allan, for all these years, you've done a great job, and I just think you deserve a big, giant slap on the back. Not so hard that you get, like, hurt, but I mean a good slap on the back.
Hey, look, a stranger in town.
No, we've already met.
No, we haven't. I never forget a face.
Yeah, I already told you. My name is...
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Let me see if I can... give me the first letter.
C.
Cal.
No.
Clay.
No.
Cliff.
No, it's Chris.
Chris! See, I told you I never forget a face.
Amazing.
The way these guys can just gently become the characters, to me, it puts a smile on my face. They kill, they knock it dead. I think it's gonna turn a lot of heads, and I think it's gonna impress people. Hey, I'm a believer in Mayberry Man. I just think it's gotta just get pushed, just give it that push. And bingo, baby, you know, it's a lot better than watching an animated movie about a machine turning into a ferret. Isn't that a movie?